we're coming up on an hour. So there's a couple things though that we had a discussion before this pod that I kind of want to hear about was from what you were saying about the NIL, Angry Joy and Hater, about something going on with the Patriots. So
Yeah.
who wants to take it first, and then we'll close out with Alamo Minute and Kiss My Grits.
Well, go ahead, Angry Joy. You go first.
Well, as far as the NIL is concerned, and I know we actually talked about this at nauseum a few podcasts ago, but this is one of the big things that I have against NIL. I think that they are actually actively ruining professional sports. I really do, especially in the NBA.
Mm.
So, how about this? Last year there were 106 entries in 2021. The number peaked at 336. 71 is the lowest number since 2003. I mean, what does that tell you guys? You know, so basically, players in NCAA, why in the hell would they actually go to the NBA? When they actually can make more money in the CBA with no non-guaranteed NBA deal.
Uh,
Wait,
huh?
wait a minute. Wait, say I think. Wait, you do understand that NBA contracts are fully guaranteed for first rounders,
Yeah.
right?
Sure. But at the same time, if you're getting your money now in the NCAA, why would they bother, fucking around with an NBA contract?
Yeah.
Well,
Because the minimum's what, 3 million a year?
something
Yeah.
like that. Now,
Yeah.
it just I will say now this is with the
Well,
current
let
the
let
current
me
CBA
rephrase.
as it is right now, but they can it. I will say there may be changes coming with the next CBA.
Okay,
That
so
could be changing, but right
but
now it's fully guaranteed.
but let me rephrase. Last year there were 106 entries in 2021. The number peaked at 363. 71 is the lowest number since 2023. So, in other words, the NIL is actually bleeding the NBA in talent.
Oh, you mean so okay, if okay. I'm just wanna make sure I have this straight. So the number of people or number of players that are actually attempting to enter into the NBA draft is shrinking because they're staying in
Yes,
college. Is that what you're getting at here?
that's correct.
Okay. So I would say it's not as big of or at least I would let me just say this. Is my opinion. I think it may not be as big of an issue because personally, I feel like the NCAA wants players to stay longer because with the one and dones and things of that nature, it was slowly it was slowly leaking out the talent because they wanted to jump so quickly into to the NBA because unlike the NBA, the NFL you have to for college football you have to stay in for 3 years versus in basketball you have to stay for one. So that means that you're constantly recycling talent, right? Well, now with the incentive for guys to actually stick around and actually get a paycheck now, while still being in college, that does incentivize people to actually stick around a little bit longer. So they can get further seasoned into their basketball skills, still getting a paycheck, but they don't have the pressure of the NBA yet. So
Okay, fair
it,
enough. But at the same time, the result is that there's more talent in college, less draft. Okay, so what's the incentive for for these kids to actually enter into the NBA? There's more talent in college, less draft prep, and less draft buzz.
well,
Uh,
that may be true, Angry Joy, but I will say too is I think the bigger issue may be the fact of the influx of foreign talent, like foreign basketball talent coming into the NBA now, while the other like American players are staying in college. So that could be an issue, a potential issue, because there's been a lot of talk about like how like the Shea Gilgeous Alexanders, Jokic, Luca, and all those guys are competing to be potentially the face of the NBA. Wemby, right? And all these guys are foreign-born players. So it's like, oh, where are all the Americans, right? Well, you could the answer could be that they're still in college because they're still making NIL money. So
Um,
now, as far as talent is concerned, you're still going to get it in the NBA. It's just where it's coming from. So you do have a point there.
do y'all remember when the worry was that players are going to go overseas for the
Yes.
money?
Yep.
I think the nail killed that too.
Yeah. 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 Definitely did that. Yeah.
Because colleges were like these players, coming out of high school, they would just go play overseas ball, make six figures, and then now with the nail, that kind of eliminates that pipeline.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. But I think I will say this, and we kind of touched on this a little bit, Angry Joy, last week. The NBA's biggest problem right now is trying to solve their tanking issue.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
They got to fix that up post haste because you ain't got to worry about who's coming if your NBA team's over here trying to think of creative ways to lose.
yeah.
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 I don't know. I just think that professional sports, they've got a challenge on their hands with NIL.
Yeah, I will say too, like the one thing that I'm still building notes for that we could talk about later in the later pod too is small college, like on the football side, small college players or from smaller schools who are actually getting drafted. Like that's those numbers are slowly shrinking as well because of NIL.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
But yeah, I got to put some numbers
Like I said,
together on that. And actually,
I have my reservations for NIL. I really do.
yeah, it has its pluses and its minuses. Oh, of course, and it's also like encouraging bad behavior. Like you heard about the Texas Tech quarterback, right?
No, I didn't
Yeah,
hear about
you big
speak on
dummy.
that one.
Oh, it's terrible, Edgar Joy. It's terrible. I believe his name is Sorsby, I believe. He was a transfer from Cincinnati to Texas Tech this year, and people were giving him like he was getting first round buzz for next year. But everything got put on hold because he got caught making thousands, not tens, not hundreds, but thousands of bets while he was I believe he was still I think he was still on Indiana, and he was making bets back then while he was at Indiana before he started playing for Cincinnati, and then
He was
he
making bets?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, man.
So so he got caught, and now he's gone to rehab. Okay, he's in rehab for this, and he was about to I forgot how much it was a big NIL deal that he took to play for Texas Tech, but now all of that is on hold because now he could be banned playing in the NCAA because of the rules. He actually betting is I don't know if he was betting for his own team or betting against it, but he did play some bets on Indiana while he was on the team. Well, that's how bad it was.
you big dummy. I mean, I was
Big,
young and dumb once myself, but not that dumb.
exactly. Yeah, and we all know the NFL don't play that. Ask Jameson Williams. Who come to play some
Yeah,
bets, or ask Calvin Ridley. You know what I mean? Like, so he's already been black marked. I think to try to get get signed to an NFL team at this point because of this. So that'd be a very bad look because I mean, hey, you might run over somebody with a car, but if you place a bet against your own team, that's a big fat no in the NFL.
yeah, yeah. You could punch a baby in the jaw, but
Yeah,
don't you?
but just you place no bet now. you you
Yeah.
if you put your phone on DraftKings if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, only so I watched The Campaign, that movie again. I don't know if our listeners know what it is, but highly encourage whoever watch it anywhere you can. It's called The Campaign, and it's hilarious. And there's a
Okay.
part in there where one of the candidates, the baby, on accident. He was trying to
Twice.
punch his opponent. Yeah, he was trying to punch his opponent, and his opponent slipped out of the way at the last second, and he put the baby in the mouth.
Oh my God. Damn.
Yeah,
Well, first it was a dog, and then it was a
yeah,
baby.
that's right. That's right. That's right. So
Oh my
anyway,
goodness.
I digress. All right. Well, last thing. So let's talk about this Patriots thing. What you got?
Oh man. Okay. So public service announcement before we actually get started on all this stuff. the story is still breaking with more news and more photos and stuff like that. So just to catch everybody up, because this is about a month and a half of news that we got here. But everything all started with, the big rumors about potentially AJ Brown being traded from the Eagles to the Patriots, right? And Diana Rossini, who is a former ESPN reporter who is now, or at least was, with the Athletic, she's been probably one of the main people that has had the pulse on this whole thing. And so everything was all fine and good until March of this year, where the coaches meetings were taking place in Arizona. Well, somebody took pictures of head coach Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini at a hotel that was 2 hours from where the coaches meetings were happening. Okay. So they were pretty, so the two things about that is, one, the hotel is advertised as a couples retreat. Okay. And
Oh,
yeah, and some of them, now the initial photos, they weren't too terrible. The only thing was, there was one where the two of them were on a rooftop of a bungalow, and they're kind of hugged up, and they're like, wait a minute, that's a little fishy, looks a little suspicious, right? And they're both married, by the way. Okay. Mike Vrabel's been married for
oh,
25 years. And Diana Rossini, I think she's been married for like 6 or something along those lines, right? So that was already bad enough. So then, people were raising questions and stuff of that nature, and, they try to collaborate their story and stuff like that, like, "Oh, this is just innocent," and blah, 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 blah. And Diana was saying, "No, you got it all wrong. I was part of a girls' trip. It was me and 6 other ladies with me, and we were just so happened to be at the same place at the same time, right?" So
right.
that was already a leaky boat anyway, right? So then more photos started coming out, and it turned out, long story short, that their relationship spanned more than 6 years, when he was still the coach of the Tennessee Titans at the time. And so once that got released, the Athletic, they came out with a statement of support initially when it first came out, the story came out. Then a week later, they sidelined her and said she wouldn't be reporting or anything. Then, a few days after that, she turned in her letter of resignation, because apparently she decided she wanted to go straight to the CEO of the New York Times, because who owns the Athletic, to try to plead her case. Well, even while that was happening, the New York Times asked, "Hey, all you got to do, you're saying you were on a girls' trip. Just produce some text, some pictures, anything that shows that, that was actually happening, outside of the photos have already been released. Just show us that. If you give us that, we got your back." She never produced it. So
Oh,
she had to go, right? So now everybody's like, all right, now people are like questioning her integrity and stuff of that nature, being a reporter and stuff like that, because when even her initial release was like, reporters interact with sources all the time. Well, more photos started coming out. And man, let me tell you, it got so bad. Just as an example, she was on when Vrabel was still the coach of the Tennessee Titans. He was on a 4-game losing streak. Apparently, Diana sent him a Spotify playlist, to try to, quote unquote, help him out. Now, I think the worst part of all of this, even the worst thing of all, when their relationship first started, it was 6 months before she got married to her current husband.
Hold on.
oh,
Playlist from where?
Spotify. It was a Spotify playlist. Now,
That's
I don't have the song list, but here's the thing though. Again, now remember, Vrabel has been married for 25 years. Okay. So let's keep that in mind. So the playlist happens and stuff like that. And then this is before she gets married. She gets married. 9 months later, she's pregnant. Now,
oh,
do you want to guess the name of her child?
oh my gosh, what is it?
Michael.
Oh, Yeah, he's a dead man. I'm saying?
Oh,
She
Oh,
named
man.
she named one of her 2 children Michael. Now, not only that, there was a text. I was trying to pull up the she put out something on social media, okay, where she is looking at her newborn baby and she says something along the lines like, I'm thinking of some of the best players and coaches named Michael.
okay.
Now, look, here's the
Let me
thing.
guess.
Huh?
How about Phelps?
I
I don't know.
no, hey, we
I'm
can't
playing.
fully
I'm
put
playing. I'm playing. I'm
we
playing.
we can't fully put 2 and 2 together here, but it's looking mighty suspicious. So now to bring it back to current day. Now, when all this stuff started coming out, Mike Vrabel comes out. Now, remember, he hasn't really said anything up to this point, but then he says that he was not going to be a part of the draft. He wasn't going to be a part of day 3 of the draft because he was going to go to counseling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that.
He
Yeah.
must not be married to a Latina.
Hey, no, I've seen the pictures. No, he is not. But so at this point, Diana Rossini has lost her job. He still has his,
That's fucked
but
up.
yeah, but apparently there are rumors that Diana is ready to tell her side of the story. Now, that's where we are right now. Now remember, we still got the AJ Brown side of all this because we still don't know. Now, it's supposed to be June 1st when the trade is supposed to happen. It's supposed to take place. If it does or not, that might be the day she actually comes out with her own version of the story. But the point of the matter is, AJ Brown still has not moved from the Eagles to the Patriots. We still don't even know if that trade is still actually happening, or he may go somewhere else. We have no idea. But in the midst of all of this, the New England Patriots organization as a whole, between this story right here, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, they give a whole new definition of the Patriot way. You get what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
There's a whole lot going on in New England. You know what I'm saying? Like when they be picking way different ways to stay warm up there in the winter. I'll tell you that.
Jeez.
And
Jeez.
it
I'm
just
not
keep
even gonna touch that one. I'm not gonna
yeah.
touch that one.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, I know on this show when we have a very defined, a very significant definition of what side piece is. But
yeah.
but in this scenario right here, hey, when you the side chick, man, you're supposed to stay in your lane. You're supposed to stay in your lane. Know your role. Don't overplay your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh my gosh.
man, it's crazy right now. And that
Well,
and we were talking during the draft. I was like, this is how you know, like the quarterback class was booty because the biggest story that came out during the entire offseason is a relationship between a reporter and a coach.
Yeah.
so you could actually talk to Mr. Raider about what a side piece is and what what
Hey,
you're talking about.
wait a minute. Now, hey,
Hold on. My family listens to this. I do
wait a
not
minute.
have it's a sports team that back then. I don't
Yes.
want to go over this again, but I
Don't
don't
worry
have
about it. Don't worry about it. I
I
got you,
don't have
brother.
a Sancha
Yeah.
ever.
I,
My wife
hey,
look, my wife will stab me in my chest. I mean, I
hey.
no. I have
We are not in the business. Yeah, we are not in the business of getting people killed by chocolate. We don't want that. Okay.
no. No. And y'all already know how my wife thinks. So you just got a little piece of it today.
Hey, I
So
look. We all about people keeping the peace in our homes here. And
absolutely.
and on the 210
Fucking
show, if we
Joey.
mention side piece, we only mention about our sports teams and sports teams only. That's it.
That's
We will
it.
always be that way. It will never change.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think this show needs a disclaimer before we even kick it off.
I
Every
know,
now and
right?
then. After welcome back, we should do a disclaimer.
Right. It's use the term side piece, which is only
Yeah,
to specifically sports teams and nothing else.
that's
The
right.
210 show loves our
Yeah.
wives,
Yeah.
our wives and significant others. We love them. We love our families.
Yeah. That's it, man. That's it. Shit. Absolutely.
Oh man.
Man, Joey,
Uh,
you were on one today, man.
I know, right? You really
You
trying to
on
get your
one, bro.
goat today, brother.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My eyebrow is already
Uh,
twitching, bro.
oh, it just makes my heart warm. Uh,
Oh man.
Blood. Man, God.
Yeah.
I'm on.
So
I'm
needless
on.
to say, just to put a cap on this particular story, as it still is developing, keep an eye on what may or may not happen to Mike Vrabel as a coach.
Well,
So
so hold on. So I got okay. Let me be that guy because I know we do have females that listen to our show.
yes,
Um, why should she be the one to lose a job? I mean, was it shitty that they did? Yeah, but they're adults. It's not like they killed anybody or anybody or been accused of those or I should say grape. I'm sorry because we can't.
yeah, you gotta add that out. But
I got that out. But why should he be able to keep his job? You know what I'm
okay,
saying? I think leave them alone. They're adults. They made a mistake. They're gonna pay for it with their families. You know, go
yes,
from there.
but the
Unless he was banging her on the Patriots desk in his coaching office, okay.
yes,
But no.
but the problem that happens is one is journalistic integrity. That's number one.
sure, sure.
Number two, it brings into question as to how the information has been acquired. There was there's now speculation as to because of the information that was released may have jeopardized or changed some NFL transactions. The one example that they gave was the trade for Julio Jones when Mike Vrabel was still the coach of the Titans, because she reported, and I want to get this right, but I could be wrong by a little bit, that the rumor was put out there that the offer was for much more of compensation than what it actually was, and that helped facilitate or dissuade other teams for pursuing Julio Jones, and that allowed the Titans to get him. So
Julio
now they're
Jones.
saying, yeah,
Julio
Oh,
Jones.
yeah, yeah.
Julio
So this
Jones?
is yeah, yeah, yeah. So okay, so going back again, this is going back when Mike Vrabel was still the coach of the Titans,
Uh,
and Julio Jones was had a falling out with the Falcons, and so they put him up on the trade block. Well, there is some speculation now because Rossini was one of the reporters for the Titans at the time, and she was still working for ESPN at the time. And so there was put out of information that was saying that there were some teams that were willing to trade or willing to, willing to give. I want to say it was either like a first round pick or 2 seconds or something like that to get Julio Jones. And so by putting that information out there, could have potentially dissuaded other teams from actually pursuing him. When in actuality, they didn't have to give that much, and that allowed the Titans to still get Julio Jones from the Falcons. So that's just an example. So now, like the case here about AJ Brown could potentially be there. There are rumors about multiple firsts or potential multiple firsts to get AJ Brown. That could or could not be the case because that could dissuade other teams. Like, oh man, that's too rich for my blood. You know what I mean? So so it's stuff like that. So and her being a reporter, that's more of a stain on her side of the ledger more than Mike Vrabel. You know?
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I can see that.
yeah.
yeah,
I can see that.
yeah.
That's the thing.
Well,
Just man, don't shit where you sleep. You know? Come on.
Man, yeah. It
You
it it's
big dummies.
yeah. It's a cold world out here, man. It's a
Sure
cold
is.
world out here.
Sure is. All right. Well, it's about that time. So if
Yes,
there's
sir.
nothing
Yes, sir.
else, let's roll on into Kiss My Grits and Alamo Minute. For those that already know, but for those that don't, Kiss My Grits is something that's asinine that you want to call out to the carpet. Bring them down, put the spotlight on them, let them know what time it is. Person, place, thing don't matter. And if you got something positive or you want to shout out a business or a TV show, a video game, whatever, that's the time to do it. So without further ado, a hater, go ahead.
All right. I only have a small kiss my grits today, and it's mainly revolves around the NBA playoffs. NBA needs to really strongly reconsider. I understand the streaming services have probably forked over a lot of money to get their stuff, to get their games and stuff like that on their platform. But It's one thing when you're doing it for the regular season, but for the playoffs, this is ridiculous. The fact that I have to check a web page to figure out which streaming service a playoff game is in is a
Yeah.
problem. If I gotta figure out if it's on Prime, Peacock, ESPN, hell, I don't know, Yahoo, I don't know. I mean, it's so many to choose from. I don't know which is which. And I was talking to Monster today because we were talking about, the Pistons and Cavaliers, and apparently because the Cavaliers are on the road, the local team, the local affiliate can't carry the game. So unless you have a streaming
What?
service, yeah, unless you have a streaming service in Cleveland, that was the only way you could actually see the game right now, games 1 and 2, which are happening in Detroit for people in Cleveland. It's ridiculous. This is not. I don't know who pitched this, like how many college graduates came together to come with this plan, but I'm telling you right now, as a customer, this is not good. And I'm used to having, it should be on it should be on regular TV or just at worst ESPN. Like, just keep it like that. But this whole streaming stuff, like, bro, like this is not good. So on top of the tanking stuff that y'all need to fix NBA, but as far as going forward with the NBA playoff schedules on streaming services, y'all need to cut this out and kiss my grits while you at it.
Ooh. All right. Angry Joey?
Honestly, you kind of stole my thunder. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna second that. In the sense that right now I'm sitting on having Netflix, I'm having Prime, I'm having all these different streaming services, and you don't know where the hell the game is actually going to lie. And this is not just the NBA, but it's going to be the NFL too. Because you don't know where the hell you're going to be able to watch the freaking game. And what streaming service you actually have to buy, at the end of the day, so at the end of the day, you end up having to buy like all these different streaming services just to watch a particular game. It just sucks, I mean, it's so confusing, and to be able to follow up with it, it's just a pain in the ass,
yeah.
it just seems like a straight money grab, so I agree with you, hater.
Yeah, I agree too. I had to second that. So, because I didn't have an Alamo minute or kiss my grits, but I do now. So I second that. All right. Well, fellas, been a great podcast. Anything else before we sign off?
Nothing for me, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we want y'all to engage with us. Come on the Discord, leave some comment on the YouTube channel. But in order to get a hold of us and how to interact with us, Hater of Facts can put you on game.
Yes, absolutely. If you want to check us out, podcast form, we're available at Apple, Spotify, and Overcast at the 210 Show. We're also available on YouTube at the 210 Show Pod. And shout out to our now 25 subscribers that are actually on the channel right now. We
Woo!
appreciate we appreciate the support. We also appreciate all of our overseas listeners on the podcast streets. We appreciate y'all too. Please share the podcast with a friend. If you can't, if you can't tune in or can't get it, just share it with a friend. It will really, really help us. Also, I did put out a new poll out there for all you Laker fans out there, so please feel free to join in on that. We also have a Discord channel as well, so feel free to join that as well. Hit that notification bell, so every time a new pod drops, it will get right there to you. And we appreciate all the love and support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank y'all for spending time with us. God bless. Good night. Take care of each other.